What are some toxic masculine traits you've experienced?
My 8-year-old cousin got smacked in the face with a baseball. His dad told him to man up and stop crying.
I'm a masculine lesbian woman and sometimes men get violent with me. Not in the, I wanna you way, but they see me as competition. Almost as if they view me as a man. It scares me.
Being annoyed that I'm smarter than them. On dating sites alone, I had 3 men tell me I'm too smart and stop talking to me.
Refusing to take care of their kids because it's not manly.
Getting offended by a feminine compliment. I once told a guy he had beautiful eyes and he was genuinely offended.
Insecurity manifesting as aggression anytime their ego or idea of manliness is threatened. Usually lashing out occurs in moments of vulnerability, causing themselves and those around them to turn on women. I put that dumb her place. They turn on their friends, what are you or something bro? And they even turn on themselves, I just need to man up. No one benefits from toxic masculinity.
Not wanting to use or even touch any product that is pink, in a pink container. Keeping the house together. Being expected of me without prior discussion. Is allowed to follow whatever half-IG models he wants, like their pics etc. But if I post a selfie that's in any way, too sexy, it's a problem. Upset about my choice of underwear for a workday. How dare I wear a pair of with lace on them on a Tuesday at.
Being angry when I say no for, like a child.
If I am his property. It's hot in the bedroom, but that is where it should stay. IMO.
Weaponized incompetence.
It's in the thousands. Tears of joy. I'm a British girl who grew up in the early when lad culture was booming. The SJWs and Gen Zers of today would have a heart attack if they knew some of the stuff I grew up around and saw. I've had men make fun of me on nights out numerous times cause I don't look like a page 3 girl. We're the country that I believe made up the game. Pull a pig. Men have said the most graphic things openly in pubs. Men have got their dicks out in front of me and an ex-mate in a nightclub once. They've also been aggressive when they've bought me free drinks and I've not been interested. The pub my uncle goes to, the men use so much cocaine. They've had to lower the toilet doors to discourage them snorting it off the toilet lids. My aunt's husband used to leave his DVDs laying round in the front room. I've had men grab my on nights out. Some bloke called me big, my real name, once. I've been fingered against a bar in front of other people by some boy in a nightclub. When my sister was a barmaid, she was repeatedly sexually harassed. One bloke actually waited in the alley in his car next to the pub until she finished her shift so he could ask her. Thankfully the landlord of the pub was with her and scared the guy off, and so on. There's many more, but I can't think cause I'd be here all day.
Okay, that's just you. Sounds extremely immature from their part. Oh hell no. The following half IG models and not letting you post a selfie cause it's too sexy, as I feel that.
Warped attitudes about thinking that wanting or having makes them a building their whole personality around, constantly pestering women for it, pushing for sexting, dates, etc. Bragging non-stop about what they would do to hot women. Bragging, and probably lying, about the past experiences. I have had men on here offer money for and threaten to hurt themselves if I didn't send them. I mean, if guys who won't take no for an answer chose unalive themselves, I am okay with that.
My favorite is when a coworker does this and you have to maintain professionalism. Woozy face.
For myself, I see many men justifiably complain that they're not allowed to show emotion. Ironically, I've spent my entire life doing the same emotional suppression to avoid the hyper-emotional woman stereotypes I can be taken from men. Like, all of them? Is that an acceptable answer? Lol.
I feel bad for you going through that.
When an entire room of people operate on the premise that the loudest person is the most, like it's a volume. Been in so many meetings that just amounted to a bunch of dudes literally yelling at each other until they were tired and all leave thinking they on the bright side. This has cemented my zero tolerance policy for anyone raising their voice at me in my personal life. You get one warning, and then get shown the door. Nobody yells at me.
The super fragile male ego that is afraid to be exposed as less than perfect. This keeps men from ever seeing themselves as they really are and growing. Or being whatever it is that makes a man think that a woman having an affair with another woman is somehow less threatening than her having an affair with a man. Lots of guys think it's hot for their SOs to consider being with women. But if a were involved, it's somehow a completely different convo. As though women are less than men. As though we aren't just as capable of leaving a man for a woman. So weird, so toxic. This is the worst, and I see it all the time. And that's why we have men that are just caricatures of human beings. They don't know how to express the depths of their emotions.
You hear me? I was so glad. I kept the screenshots from the very first argument we had about it. He claimed I posted a sexy selfie, and since it was early in the relationship I was just like, you know, I'll take it down because I respect you. I knew one day it'd come back to bite him in the end. Did it ever? Lol.
Oof, I remember sitting in the sofa at my parents' place with my then BF. Hadn't seen each other in a couple months because I spent the summer back home and he came to visit. It was an awkward silence until he said that it was a little intimidating to talk about anything because I had an opinion about everything.
That's actually terrifying.
Girl. Same. Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. I be knees deep on screenshots because those babies never not come in handy based on my past experiences.
My dad said women shouldn't do wrestling, so I did it for a year in high school. My microwave went out, and I was asking my dad how to check it. He said my husband should use the voltmeter, and I'm like, I'm a college educated, you don't think I'm capable of learning how to use a voltmeter? FYI, I did figure it out. My microwave died and had to be replaced, but that's not the point.
My 76-year-old father is a master of this.
My so and I had brought flowers for his mother. She was in the middle of cooking, so he found a vase and arranged the flowers for her. His sister and her so thought this was absolutely hilarious and teased him for it, because apparently men aren't supposed to put flowers in vases, I guess?
Calling women girls.
The insane jealous behavior that is also hypocritical kills me. Some men have the self-awareness of a raisin.
I opened the door for a guy the first was in a date with, who was a die-hard Andrew Tate fan, and I opened the door for him without really thinking about it, and he got upset. His mood was ruined for the rest of the evening. He kept complaining to me that men open the doors, not women, and that I was disrespectful for opening a door for him. He called me a feminist as an insult, but whatever.
My ex and I, straight couple, were outside a bar. He was wearing a pink shirt. Even thought I was with him. A group of dudes started calling him homophobic slurs and trying to fight him. It terrified me because we were just standing there chatting when a group of men decided that his pink shirt was enough to try to jump him and call him horrible words. Why are men like this?
Old men being creepy towards underage girls.
Man, I've totally been guilty of this, and instead of being helpful, it just ends up being invalidating. Grimace.
Calling women females.
When I taught my ex-boyfriend basic cooking skills and a few months later he felt the need to teach me those same skills and claimed he learned it on his own.
It's good that you realize it though. That's worth a lot. Smiley face.
I have told 2 men that they have great eyebrows and they were also offended. Man, I'm jealous, not trying to hurt you. Tears of joy.
My husband used to steal my tape measure by accident, and eventually I bought a giant pink, uses it just fine, but he never keeps it with his stuff anymore. Hee.
Ah yes. The old, "you're too smart" line. Sister to you like yourself too. If anyone says this to you, it means they are acknowledging that they won't be able to manipulate or abuse you.
The friggin' snatching. I really learned to hate the phrase, "oh honey no," when I was working at an orange-themed hardware store. Multiple injuries caused by men who couldn't bear to see me carrying an object they thought was too big, trying to it from me and throwing my lift off balance. Don't just grab large heavy objects from people without warning, or you will be the cause of the soft tissue injury, not the object.
Yeah, and when they get cranky with only UBC, it's been a few days since you last had together. He doesn't realize why he's being cranky, but I do, and it's only with me.
I was gonna say this. Entitlement too.
My husband always says that he should put the flowers in the vase because otherwise I'm having to do work for a gift heart. It's a very kind gesture.
I'm not a man, but I couldn't imagine myself getting so upset over someone holding open a door that it ruined my whole. People who use feminist as an insult speaks volumes about them. XD.
Lol, I used the word paradigm when a guy was talking to me and trying to pick me up, and he stopped and specifically pointed out how surprised he was that I used such a big word. All I could think was, you had no chance before, and that comment just made the bar on freeze over.
Men that are just caricatures of human. This is such a brilliant summation of the problem. You've captured so much in such a brief phrase. Thank you. I'm going to remember and quote this.
Fellas, is it to have a woman compliment you?